All right, family, welcome everybody. I know, I'm live, and I didn't tell you niggas, but y'all get up in here. Give y'all a few minutes to come on in here. Let me share this on my Facebook timeline real quick. Yes, I know Gabe is here, and I'm live on a Sunday. Let me share this real quick over on Facebook. How we doing this Sunday, y'all? Y'all give me a second. How we doing, everybody? Family, how we doing? We're gonna have a little quick Sunday message. I know y'all done went to church today and had the pastor lie to y'all all day, but we're gonna get a little truth in y'all Sunday today. Y'all give me a second. Y'all come join me. Hell. All right, so it's me, as you know. My name is Gabriel. I'm one half of Ultimate Black Man Radio. I usually come to y'all on Thursdays, but I have been again working on editing things. Let me get a little water there. Sorry about that, guys. So I didn't do this past Saturday. Good morning, good afternoon. 1112 Queen. Leroy, hello. Welcome. Ill Will, is good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Glad to have you in. Y'all know how I do. I get on here. This is a relationship channel for black men, giving them game on how to navigate this dating world. I got some content for y'all ass this week. I've been seeing so much dumbassery online. The holidays are coming up. The hoes are feeling the pressure. And you brothers need to be aware. So I think I might do a 5 steps on surviving cuffing season, because I'm seeing a whole lot of scandalous shit go down already. Women are turning tricks for Christmas gifts. They are giving head and blowjobs for PlayStation 4s and Nintendo Switches for the babies, because the baby daddy's nowhere to be found, and falling victim. Like I told y'all last week, I see a lot of you goofy niggas around here working overtime, niggas clocking in 70, 80 hours a week so they can go and purchase gifts for kids that aren't theirs. And we're going to stop that, because these women don't really appreciate it no way. Hello, thanks for coming by. But that's later on this week. If you want to support the channel, of course, it's always go to PayPal at paypal.me/ultimateblackman. It's right there, I think. Yep. Or you can do Cash App at the $ultimateblackman. And of course, everything that you guys donate goes right into the channel. That's how you're able to hear my smooth voice, because the listeners donated and I was able to get this wonderful, wonderful mic. So it goes right back into the channel. Everything that is donated to us. Not going to be super long today, but this is something that has to be discussed, because over on Twitter, people are still kind of discussing this a little bit. And I see the memes about T.I and, making some of the memes are actually kind of funny. But for people that have been living under a rock, T.I went public and basically said that he goes to the gynecologist with his daughter to get her hymen checked to make sure she is still a virgin. So people have already kind of weighed in. I'm late to the party because, I really, to be honest, I didn't really give a shit at the time, but there is a lot to be discussed here, especially for men in particular. And I'll get to that in a minute. But first, I have a special guest today. He came to me and was like, he kind of wanted to talk about this and discuss this. So here we are. Josh, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people about you and what you do.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Joshua Self. Just kind of glad to be here. I feel like a Cinderella team. I'm just happy to be in this chat. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram under Magus of the M. and I have a podcast, Self Truth is Shit. And I think this is a really important topic, and I'm excited to dig into it.
So on your podcast, what do you discuss?
I talk about mostly Black culture, pop culture, the things that are happening right now, and how they affect the Black community.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and are you on YouTube, Anchor, well, Stitcher? What? How can people
You can
listen
find
to
it
you?
on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. I have a YouTube channel. Not all the podcast episodes are on YouTube, but you can find me on iTunes and Stitcher, Spotify, and pretty much anywhere else that you listen to a podcast.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Hey, yeah, I definitely got to come over there and chop up game. How long have you been doing your podcast?
It's been about a year now, a little
Good,
over a
good,
year. It's been
good.
a fantastic time. A lot of learning. I had no idea what I was doing when I started, and I still barely have an idea, but I'm learning, getting a little bit better at it. The
Oh man,
research and all that,
let me
the
tell you.
socializing and all that. It's different. It's not what I expected it to be, but it's been a great ride, and I'm glad that I've been doing it.
Yeah, I tell people all the time this is not easy. A lot of people want to. You see a whole lot of podcasts, and you see a whole lot of them come, and you see a whole lot of them go because this is not
Yeah,
easy. I tell people this all the time. Trying to do this stuff is not easy. It's kicking my ass. Trying to do editing and learning how to edit and doing videos and trying to learn ways to engage people. Like it's difficult, but everybody wants a YouTube channel or podcast now. So, and
yeah.
half these folks don't be talking about shit no way. But that's
I
neither
think
here
the
nor there.
issue is that a lot of people get into it expecting it to pop off from the jump,
Man,
and it's typically not going to.
no.
You gotta basically do it for yourself. Because if you don't want to do it for yourself, it's not gonna be successful.
Man, I tell people all the time, whether I got one person listening, 100, 500, 1,000, I'm gonna do this because this is what I love to do. Too many people want to
Mhm.
get into it for fame. I don't do this for fame. Hell, our community is fucked. So I just get on here and try to provide some kind of solutions to counteract what I see in the community. So, but so everyone listening, y'all go follow that. We got to talk about the T.I situation. So again, for all the people that have been living under a rock, again, T.I went on record and said that he takes his daughter, I think she's like 16, to the gynecologist to make sure her hymen is not broken, to make sure that her purity is intact. And when I tell you social media lost their shit when that came out, I weighed in on it like super quick. I just kind of said I thought it was really odd that he does that. I'm not gonna do it. Um, However, we can't tell people how to run their household. My whole thing is this: we complain about fathers not being there in the home. Then
Mhm.
we have a father that is there in the home, and to be honest, he's really doing. I mean, he kind of overstepping a little bit, but he's doing what he feels is right. Because you gotta remember, a lot of folks fail to realize T.I is a real street nigga. This nigga was running guns like 4 or 5 years ago, and he caught a Fed case and had to do a year and a half in a prison in Arkansas. So T.I was really about that life. He's a real street dude that just so happened to make it big. So he knows what's out here. Unlike a lot of you goofy niggas that are being critical of him, he knows what's really out here in these streets. So he's just taking extra precaution to kind of cover his daughter, which a man should cover his daughter. Now, would I necessarily do that? No. And what I fought T.I about, he talks these celebrities in particular. They talk
Mhm.
too damn much. I was telling my trainer this morning I couldn't be a publicist because I would tell my clients that they need to shut the fuck up. That would be me. I would be the worst publicist because every time they would do some shit, I would be the meanest. I'd be the biggest asshole. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like when it went out, I was like, I didn't think about. Dang, he goes to the doctor to check to make sure her hymen's intact. I thought, dude, what the fuck is he doing? Like, why is he going on a public forum saying, yeah, I go to the gynecologist to make sure my daughter ain't fucking? Like, dude, like, I thought
Yeah.
that was a bit much. So that was
And then,
my only thing about it. 1112 Queen said, my grandmother did this with my mother. Yeah, and I was just about to say, this used to be the norm. This used to be the norm for a lot of people.
yeah. Let me dip my toe in the pool real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Yo, go ahead.
So I think part of the issue, the daughter is 18, and doctors are not really supposed to disclose information like once your child is 18. But that's not T.I.'s issue. That's something completely different. But I think when it comes to T.I., like as a parent, even though he's from the streets, I think that's part of the issue is that he's creating this double standard. Like he's not really bothered that his son, which was like 14 or something like that, is fucking, and he's bothered that his daughter could possibly be fucking, and he doesn't want his daughter to be anything like the women that he actually fucks with. You know, I think as a man, like our first duty is to protect our women, and the first person we have to protect them from is ourselves. And he failed to do that. He's not really protecting her from himself, and he's putting her in a situation that compromises her. You know, like getting on a public forum and speaking about this and kind of bragging about like knowing that her hymen's not broken, like that's a bit much. He doesn't need to be putting her business out there. Like that's the problem. She has women that she could have gone to the doctor with, and you know, when you see Pornhub offer his daughter $1 million to lose her virginity on camera, something has clearly gone wrong. Like this whole situation is fucked up. If you've got Pornhub, like, hey, we're willing to pay you $1 million to lose your virginity on camera. Like that means that they're expecting to make millions because people are gonna want to watch that shit. You know, as a terrible thing to put your daughter
ass niggas.
you know.
But Pornhub get on my damn nerves, man. They are some of the biggest.
They're out here doing some doing the Lord's work though. Like I appreciate their services.
Yeah, man.
Some dark days.
Oh my god, Pornhub be having me dying, dog. They're like nothing but trolls. It should be gold. But you make a good point, and that was my whole thing with the T.I. thing. Like you doing that, I mean, it's kind of odd. I necessarily would not do that, but when you go on a public forum, like, yeah, I go to the gynecologist with my daughter. Like, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. It's real goofy. Like, I don't know. Like, and for him to be a street dude, like, most street dudes aren't goofy like that, but it's something about them when they come up off the street and they get a little money, it's like they lose their damn mind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's like something in the water or I don't know what it is, but they get real odd and real strange and they just, I don't know, just go insane. Like, I think about Andre 3000. And this is why I tell dudes, y'all need to leave these women that are in the occult and in witchcraft, y'all leave them hoes alone because they gonna put that witch pussy on you and fuck your mind up. A lot of you niggas not strong enough to deal with women like that. But that's a whole nother broadcast. Think about how he started dealing with Erykah Badu, and this nigga ain't been the same since. Nigga mind just gone. So I don't know. Something with them dudes, when they get money, they just go ape shit. I don't know. But when it so you mentioned the double standard about that. Talk about that a little more and how you feel he should approach maybe his son being sexually active versus his daughter being sexually active.
Well, I think, you know, as a parent, at some point you're not going to be able to stop your children from having sex, but you kind of want them to be responsible with it, you know. And at 14 years old, there's zero chance of his son being responsible with sex. Like that's just not going to happen. And the double standards, like if your son at 14 is having sex, like who is he having sex with? You know, he's got to have sex with somebody. And so basically the idea is that you're not bothered by another daughter, like not your daughter, but someone else's daughter, being promiscuous or being a hoe or whatever at 14, 15, 16, as long as it's not your daughter. So it's like you're supporting this idea as long as your people aren't doing it, you know? And he really shouldn't be trying to promote that type of activity with anyone. Like if you know that it's bad for your child, you shouldn't encourage it in the child of someone else, you know? And to be encouraging his son to do this and essentially perpetuating this cycle, you know, where it's very okay for a boy to fuck whoever he wants to fuck whenever, and it's not okay for a woman. Like we have this standard in our society that the more women that a man is with, the more of a man he is. Whereas for a woman, the more men that she is with, the less value that she has to society, you know? Like we want women to be virgins or as close to virgins as possible for as long as possible. And we want men to have had, you know, a bounty of experiences that somehow for men, it's like they're now more of a man, but for a woman, she's somehow less than she would be if she was pure. And it's a ridiculous notion that we need to do away with, you know?
Okay. What's up, TD Hutch? What's going on, sir? Kiera said Pornhub made a public statement saying that the $1 million offer was not true. Okay. I hope not. That would, I ain't gonna lie, it'd be funny if it was, though.
If I was misinformed, then I take it back. Like if that was incorrect information.
So this is my thing. We're saying that there's a double standard here. Now, Josh, do you feel that women can sleep with whoever they want to sleep with and they should not be judged? Or are you saying that men need to be more disciplined? Which one, do you think it should be?
I suppose I'm somewhere in the middle because I do think that men should be way more responsible than they are. You know, like practice some dick prejudice. You know, like every hole is not good to be in, and you see men making these types of reckless decisions and end up with a baby mama that they hate. And it's like, why'd you fuck her in the first place? You know, like, why did you fuck her raw in the first place? Like, why did you fuck her raw knowing you had a weak ass pullout game and you don't want to be with her? Like, there's so many steps you could have taken to prevent it being tied to this woman forever, knowing that you didn't want to be tied to her forever. So it's on men to be more responsible for who they decide to have sex with. Like, they're just out here being reckless. And I think women are judged a bit too harshly for who they have sex with. Like it really doesn't matter. Like in the grander scheme of things, if a woman has sex with more than 0 people, like what's the difference? Like there's not really a difference between she has sex with 1 person versus 3. You know, like it's the same thing. Or she has sex with 4 versus 7. Like there's not really a difference to me. Like past zeros is effectively the same. You know, it's not like the vagina doesn't stretch back. You know, it's good. Like it's elastic. I think people get caught up on the wrong thing a little bit too much.
Kiera said, I feel the double standard is necessary because men and women are wired differently. It's scientific evidence that shows the DNA of each man and woman sleep with stays in the woman forever. I absolutely agree with that. I do not condone women sleeping with a whole bunch of men. Women aren't judged harshly enough, in my opinion. This is why,
Really?
yes, this is why we have so many issues in the community now. You got these hoes running around here fucking in everybody, and then when rubber meets the road, because you gotta look at it like this, Joshua.
I'm listening.
When you look at the
Don't say what
numbers,
you gotta say, bro.
men when you look at like in the black community, 70% of our babies don't have fathers in the home. Okay. But only 20% of black men are single fathers. You can look this up on blackdemographics.org. Versus 50%, I believe, are of black women are single mothers than that have never been married. So what that tells you, just looking at that number, is that most black women are sleeping with the bottom 20% of men and they're man sharing. Most black men are not single fathers. That is a scientific, that is a proven number. But most black women are single mothers. That's proven. So when I'm looking at that number and then I look at the issues that are facing my community, it's telling me that the women are the ones that are practicing sexual freedom. They're the ones not practicing enough judgment as far as sex goes and sexual partners goes. I see more women complain about sorry ass baby daddies than I do men complain about sorry ass baby mamas. You do make a good point. Men need to be careful who they surround here nutting in. But again, most black men practice safe sex. Do you know how many dudes I talk to that say that they getting ready to have sex with a woman and he pulls out the condom and she's disappointed? I've had that happen before. Like she looks
Most
like
men
a
are
man.
practice safe sex, man. Like past like 18, 19, 20, these dudes ain't out here using condoms. Not they
Right, I
unless
mean,
the woman forces it on
smart
them.
niggas are. Now, niggas that have something to lose are. Because I guarantee you, ain't no man that's out here single and making over 100 grand a year. He ain't out here just unless he's a dumbass athlete. And most of those dudes are dusty. It's a mindset. But you ain't gonna catch me, man. I remember when I was making hella good money. I wasn't out here just willy nilly skeeting in chicks. It's usually dusty dudes with nothing to offer that are out here fucking these girls raw and getting them pregnant. And when this happens, what ends up happening is that these women get out here, they have these babies by these dusty ass niggas. And then when the dude is like, all right, I've had enough of you, I'm moving on, they're stuck with this child. And then they are looking to have a cleanup man come and clean up the mess. And not only is it a physical cleanup, but it's mental too. A lot of times, like I've had experience where I've dated women who have so much emotional baggage from the men that they've dated that it causes issues with the current relationship. So not only do these women come with babies, but they come with mental abuse. Some of them come with physical abuse, mental baggage, physical baggage, spiritual baggage. They have all these issues. Women receive, men give. And again, it's been proven, as Kiera pointed out, that every man a woman sleeps with, her DNA is implanted within her vagina. It's a scientific fact. Even with condoms.
I don't know about all that.
That is a proof. You can look that up. That is a
All right. I
proven, that's
mean,
a proven
that's
stat.
what y'all say. I'm gonna leave that one alone. But
It's
I don't
proven.
think that's a fact. That is
That
I
is
don't see that.
definitely proven. That's why a lot of these niggas out here, you be, slept with a chick, she done been with 50 niggas, and that baby come out and it don't look like you. DNA say it's yours, but it don't look like you.
I
It
don't think
don't
that's
look
how
like her.
DNA works. I don't think
So
that's how it works.
yeah, I'm telling you, that's proven by scientists.
Oh,
And
okay. I
again,
mean,
you have to think about this too.
science is
Just
there,
take that
but
out. Take
I'm
it
just
if
saying,
you don't believe that. Take that out. Think about the mental baggage that these women
oh
have
yeah, there's
when
a
they're
lot of mental
sleeping with
factors
multiple
that
people. Women cannot
women
sleep.
bring.
Women have to have some kind of connection to you, unless they're cold-hearted, to allow access to them physically. That you have to have some kind of, there has to be some kind of attachment there. A woman just doesn't bend over and say, just have sex with me and she's not going to be attached. I've had plenty of friends with benefits where we're just smashing and she's attached to me like I'm her boyfriend. Women cannot have friends with benefits. It's so funny that society tries to paint this that to where that, oh yeah, women can do the same thing men can do and there's no attachment. There, but that's not the truth. That's not the truth. the case. This is why women have such a hard time letting go, because a woman does not have sex with someone she doesn't see herself being with long term. All this, I'm just trying to get my nut off. That's bullshit, and that's a very masculine trait. And any woman that comes to you, brothers, and she's talking about some, yeah, I've had friends with benefits, and I was just trying to get mine, and I kicked him out the house. That woman's gonna give you hell. I'm telling you from what I know that a lot of women like that are masculine energy. They're in there, and there's no femininity there, and they usually try to run and control things from a relationship standpoint. What do you have to say to that?
I mean, you said a mouthful, and I think women do have issues sometimes when it comes to friends with benefits. I think one of the issues though is there's usually like a breakdown in communication. People tend to not set firm enough boundaries. Like I've had friends with benefits relationships before, and I've had some that ended very easily, where it's just like, all right, well, I'm moving on to the next thing. Okay, fine. That's it. I've had some that kind of lingered a little bit. And I think the difference is really just being able to set up like a very clear, this is what it is. You're not misleading people. You're not trying to do anything extra. Because what usually happens when a friends with benefits situation becomes like something more is because of the friends part. And that's the thing. Like, you don't want to be friends with someone if you just want to fuck. Like, as soon as you be friends with them, like now it's something more. There's some emotional attachment. You just got to make it business only. I'll see you at Friday, 6:00 or whatever. And then you get through. It's like, okay, I'll see you next Friday. And that's it. But the whole, we texting throughout the week or, getting a bite to eat or anything like that, it's a little bit too much. Like that kind of stuff, like allows things to be really, really confusing for people.
Yeah. So this is the thing. When women cannot do that. And
Yeah,
and
you
brothers
can
in the
have
chat, y'all can
a
back.
weekly
Have y'all
dick
ever met
appointment
a
or
woman,
whatever.
men? You ever met a woman that would tell you stories about how she would have friends with benefits, and 9 times out of 10, mentally she's a fucked up case? I want the
What
men
I'm
in the
saying though,
chat
like,
to
it's
answer
the friends part. You can't really be friends with benefits. You just have to have we fuck
that.
on
Yeah, even
whatever day
women
of the week. But
that
you can't be friends.
I've talked to women that was like, yeah, it's business only. We just fuck. Have you ever dated a woman that be like, yeah, I fucked this guy, we were friends with benefits, but she was like, well, we're really not friends. We just kind of meet up at this point. We did what we did and we went our separate ways. We didn't hang out. We didn't talk on the phone. We didn't text. We didn't do any of that. We just had sex. Most of the women that do that mentally are messed up cases. Mentally, they have a lot of baggage. Because again, she's exchanging. I mean, we could get into energy and stuff, but I'm trying not to go there. But she has exchanged these moments with these men, and again, women are not built like men where they can just cancel out sexual experiences and it doesn't have an effect on them. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I'm with you. Like, every experience that you have has an effect on them, but I think it's a bit short-sighted to feel like it doesn't have an effect on men either.
Mm-hmm. So you think men now simps get affected by this? Well, that's why we have psycho simps. Simps are
Mm-hmm.
affected by this a lot. they get some ass and things, they get kind of attached and she don't really want to be with him like that, and that nigga loses his mind and he goes on a shooting spree. So it can affect me, and I preach sexual discipline on this channel. I don't sit up here and tell men to go out here and sow your wild oats. I tell them to be selective with who they have sex with,
I get behind that.
especially in this Me Too era.
Oh
You
yeah, you
have
gotta
to
be
be
real careful.
hella careful who you around here smashing. So I don't preach just men just doing whatever they want to do. But I would be lying if I told men that If I told men that or women that they can do the same things men can and they can process it the same because they can. And now there are some women out here that do attempt to do that and they do a good job, but again, they're masculine energy. So you're basically fucking a man with a vagina because they have such a domineering. I'm serious. If you brothers, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you've ever dated a woman who was like that, who in the past has had sex just so she could get her nut out, she's very domineering. She's very aggressive. She's very controlling. She's very manipulative. That's why you don't wife up. That's why you don't wife up hoes because they don't make good long term partners. And a lot of them have permanent psychological damage as well.
I mean, yeah, I think wife up hoes for a variety of reasons. It's not really an issue of like how many partners, but it's their decision making that tends to be problematic. But I think that's the difference. Like, because how many partners constitutes being a hoe? Like, is there a set number? Like, I don't really feel like it is. It's just how you perceive it, and it's more about how reckless are they being with their choices, particularly when it comes to who they choose to have sex with. Um, it's like if a person's like, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't want to say it's necessarily a number. It's just, I'm gonna be honest. When you start talking about having more than, you know, 10 sex partners for a woman, that's a lot of men. that
So
that is a
if she's
lot of
like
men.
50 years old, is that too many?
Is what? Say it again.
If she's 50 years old, like, is that too many?
10, yeah. I'm like, oof.
Like, that's one roughly what, every 3 years? Like, that doesn't seem
Yeah.
that too many to me.
I think 10. We'll see. Well, this is what I tell men. I honestly tell men this. Stop focusing on the body count because they gonna lie about it anyway. So you can sit
Exactly.
here
So,
and
like,
you can ask a woman how
considering
many
someone
men
to be
you've
a
been with.
hoe
All she gonna
shouldn't
do
be
is lie about
relative
it.
to how many people she fucked.
Yeah. And I tell me, don't focus on how many men she's been with. Because again, you'll never know. Even with the most honest women, because again, some of them have different rules. Some of them they don't count giving a blowjob as sex, or they don't count a man giving them oral sex as sex. So they play a lot of little games with that. You kind of want to take your focus off the body count. Now, if you just happen to know like she's been with a lot of dudes and it's more than 10, like I don't think a woman that has been with 10 men is a wife. 10 different men, that's a lot of different men. But again, most women are going to lie about it anyway. They're not going to tell you the truth about the body count. And so is body count important? I absolutely believe it is. But the way women are set up now and all these little silly games they play, you'll never truly know how many men she's been with. Now, if you do
So,
know,
for a
and it's
man,
more than
like, is there too many? Like, is there
no,
a number with like too
I
many
don't
for a
think it.
man?
I don't think it is, but that's for a woman to decide. I do know women that don't like men that have been with more than 10 women because they feel like spiritually he'll be too bogged down, or mentally he'll be too bogged down, and I understand that. I understand like if a woman doesn't want to do that, but see, that's the thing with women. It doesn't really matter how many partners a man has been with. To men, it does matter. Because again, when you look at a wife, your wife is to be cherished. She is to be provided for and nurtured um, in a way that no other woman in your life is. All right.
I agree.
So when you start talking about wife and a woman, can a woman be a wife and she's been with more than 10 men? I know hood rats that haven't been with more than 10 men. I'm talking ghetto chicks that grew up in the damn projects their whole life, and they have not
I mean, what does that got to do with how many people you had sex with, like, where you
because
grow
again,
up?
we equate hood rats with being sexually promiscuous. But I know hood rats that have not been with 10
That
men.
seems like inaccurate comparison though.
Yeah,
Like I don't think
I'm just letting you know I'm letting you know how society views hood rats. We view them as being sexually loose, all right? But I know hood rats that haven't done that. They have enough common sense to know I don't need to be with all these men. Now, again, all women go through a hoe phase. Okay. Now, whether that hoe phase is them kind of sleeping around with 2 men at a time or a whole bunch of men in college, it all varies. All women go through it. Okay. But the reason body count matters to men is because when we give somebody a ring, we wife somebody, we look at them as something that no one else has had. Even if we know in the back of our minds that's not the case, we want to think the woman that we're dedicating the rest of our life to has decorum about her, or there's something special about her that no other man has experienced. This is why feminists, they can't get married because they proudly brag about all the men they've been with. If you're out here proudly bragging about how many men you've been with, you know what I'm saying, then no man that's worth his salt is going to commit himself to you for life.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I don't see how a woman wouldn't want the same kind of thing. Like, if a guy has been with
to them, some of them it does, but for
like,
most women,
there's no way
it don't matter.
To expect a woman to not be concerned a little bit with how many people that they've been with to the same extent that a man would. The difference is that men want to be a lot more controlling over women. Like, that's the difference. Like for a person to not care about their future wife, their future husband's like sexual history, like they care just as much. The only difference is that men want somehow for a woman to have not had sex with anybody or something close to that.
Well, that's not necessarily true. We just don't want no hoe. Listen,
I mean, I agree, but what I'm saying is that like a hoe isn't about how many people they've had sex with. It's about the type of choices that they make when it comes to having sex.
Yeah, but I mean, again, a woman that's worth any kind of a damn ain't gonna have more than 10 sex partners. Now, listen, women are fucking, and I tell men this all the time. Please understand that women are having sex. They love to fuck. Okay. When you start thinking like this prevents you from getting into a simp rage and getting all crazy. Women like fucking, and they are always fucking somebody. Everybody like to fuck, that's cool. But again, even with women having a very high sex drive, like again, when you start talking partners, like women only allow men inside of their space that they can see something like that sexually, that they can see something long term with. Because again, once they have sex has more meaning to women. They become attached. This is why when chicks try to play the friends with benefits thing, it doesn't go their way because they're not built like men. We can just have sex and move on. Women cannot do that. So yes, the amount of partners that she's been with does equate to if she's a hoe or not. Because again, when you look at it like that, like, hey, this is how women, this is how they're wired, this is how they think, this is how they think. When you look at a woman that can be with more than 10 men, usually it spills over into other areas of their life. For one, it shows a lack of discipline. So if she lacks discipline, she probably lacks discipline financially. Most of those chicks can't keep jobs. They don't know how to keep a budget.
That part. What I'm saying is I don't see it being different for men. Like if a dude has to have a bunch of partners, he's probably just as reckless, just as inconsiderate. Like his decision making is equally bad. Like I don't see it being somehow okay for a man, but not okay for a woman. Like that's what I'm trying to get
at. Okay. So you think that men and women should be treated on equal footing?
What I'm saying is, when it comes to like a woman or a man having sex with a lot of people, the comparison is like roughly the same. Like it shouldn't really matter if a woman has been with a lot or a few partners versus a man being with a lot or a few partners. Like considering one to be bad and one to be praised is problematic, because for that one to be praised, someone else has to be fucking him. And that's where the problem lies. Like, you can't fuck nobody, you gotta fuck somebody. And it just creates like this tension that we have that's lasted in our society forever, where men want to encourage women to have sex with them, and then we want to penalize them for doing so. And that's it shouldn't be like that.
Again, this feminism, this feminism crap that has kind of steeped its way into our society. Again, women just simply are not built to do the same things. Let me ask you this: do you feel like a woman should pay, it should go 50-50? So if we're going to say, all right, it's the same when it comes to sex, it's the same for men and women. All right. So do you feel like when you go out on a date, a man should pay for the date, or that the bill should be split 50-50? Do you feel like the rent should be split, or should the man pay most of the rent? Do you think a man should pay all the bills, or the bill should be split? When it's time to come around, when time comes around to pay bills, we at the calculator and we become mathematicians to see who pays what. So if women are equal in sexually in that regard, do you feel like women are equal when it comes to paying bills and going on dates?
I feel like the work that it takes to maintain a home, so part of that is paying bills, part of that is cooking, cleaning, if you have children, taking care of the children. When we put these things together, those things should be split 50-50. Like, it's everyone's responsibility for things to get done. So if you have a relationship where the man is paying the bulk of the bills, then the bulk of the other responsibilities will fall on the woman. Or if you have a relationship where a man is paying half and the woman's paying half, then the more domestic chores, whether it's, cooking or cleaning or doing the yard or whatever, then those types of things also get split 50-50. So it's really both people are contributing equally. You're just contributing in different arenas usually.
Because see, when we start talking about sex, everybody wants to be equal. The hoes want to be equal to the niggas, and everybody want to be equal. If you are a woman, I'm a woman, so I can fuck just like these men can fuck. That's what I see a lot. But when it comes to dates and bills and paying shit, and that's when all these terms, oh, you need to be a real man and step up and pay for this date or pay the house note with no help. You see what I'm saying? See, we're cool with double standards outside of fucking. But when it comes to fucking and having sex, like, double standards and all that goes out the window. See, when we talk about, when it's time for money to get involved, there are gender roles and there are standards that need to be met. When it comes to time to having sex, let me be free. Let me be sexually loose. See, this is the thing about women and sex. A community or people can only go as far as the women allow, or the morality of the women. All right. If the women are immoral, then the community is immoral, which means the community can rise no further than the women. So if the women are all out here sucking dick, having sex, having threesomes, being lesbians, being bisexual, being immoral, then the community cannot rise any higher than the morality of the women. That's why the sex and everything is so important. If we have women now, see, this is why we have so much clashing between the men and the women. Because see, the women want to fuck like the men, and they want to have control like the men. But see, when it's time to pay bills, oh, they want to be feminine and nurtured and cared for. And the game don't work like that.
I mean, it's like, depending on the relationship that you have, like, I've been with women where they made way more than me. And so they paid a larger share of like the bills and whatnot, and then
Mm-hmm.
there was
Mm-hmm.
more in terms of like cleaning or whatever that fell on me. And
Okay.
I've been in situations where I made more than she did. And so I paid more of the bills, and, the taking care of the home was more on her. And I'm in situations where we made, close to about the same. And so we just split things 50-50. I think it really just depends on the dynamic of each individual relationship, because what works for one is not necessarily going to work for the next. Like people just have um, different lifestyles that they want to live. People have different financial needs. And some people might want a larger house. Some people, like, I got to have every form of cable there is or whatever, or I got to have like the best internet, or I need this type of car, whatever. People just have different standards of living. And a lot of it's just trying to make it work with your partner, depending on what he or she is bringing in, you set up the way you run the house accordingly. Like it's not that one person, because you're a woman, you have to do this, because you're a man, you have to do this. You work it out with whoever it is that you're with.
All right. All right. We're gonna have to stop there because I gotta get ready to go to work. This was an interesting conversation. Now, I have a whole lot
Yeah.
of people that run on here and disagree with me all the time, but they're not brave enough to come up and have a discussion. For all y'all know, some of you hoes are going listening, or you're gonna listen. What if you disagree with what I have to say, or you have certain points you want to push? Listen, I don't mind you coming up here and expressing your opinion. What I'm not gonna let you do is sit up in my chats and in my comments and on my Facebook page and troll. That's what I'm not gonna let you do with your nappy head ass. You musty hoes. You bare
Well, I
built,
appreciate you having me on.
broad shoulder ass heifers. So, but no, this was a good conversation, man. I want to do this again. I wish we
Yeah.
could go a little longer.
Hmm.
But a nigga gotta eat, and I have to get ready for a broadcast tomorrow too. So I'm getting ready to clock into work. If you have any other closing remarks, go ahead and give them. And like I said, I'll try to set something else up so we can discuss this further, so it can be a more flushed out conversation. Go ahead. I'll give you last word.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. It's a good discussion, and I think it's the type of stuff that we need to be able to talk about, especially in the Black community. I think we just don't have enough conversations about issues that are going on. We do have a lot of Facebooking and whatnot, and the discussion never actually gets to progress to anywhere. So, I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with you. It's been a real pleasure.
Hey, no doubt, man. And I'm sure there's some women listening that absolutely agree with what Josh says. I know one in particular, but I ain't gonna go there. Um, yeah, family. I'll be having a broadcast. Let me get in this mic. Damn it. My pop filter keeps coming off my mic too. I gotta get a boom stand and a new desk. But anyway, I'll be broadcasting tomorrow morning. Um, it's a lot I want to discuss about some things I've been seeing online as of late. So y'all be on the lookout for that. And I'm almost done with my old hoes video. So I'm got a recorded content where we're breaking down the game about the old hoes. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Um, that is everything. Ill Willis, thank you for coming by. TD Hutch, everybody that's listening for impromptu broadcast. Actually had quite a few people listening, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. So again, y'all look for me on tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I will be broadcasting then. Until then, y'all have a good day. Be blessed.